I just find like I'm snacking like all the time because with my job, I'm always up and running around and I don't really have time to like sit there and just like mindlessly snack. But now that I'm working from home, I find that I don't know if I'm like more hungry, if it's like bored hungry because I just like need something to do. And so I wanted to try and make like a healthy but like sweet snack. I thought that today we could make these puffed quinoa balls that I used to make all the time in university and I haven't made them in forever. They're super easy, like I think 4 or 5 ingredients, high in protein. I'm not gonna say low in sugar, like it uses agave nectar, but yeah, I always ramble. Let's just get to it. And if you guys are at home and wanna make like a somewhat healthy snack that's kind of like a dessert combo, then you can do this because you'll have stuff around the house. Alternatively, if you don't have puffed quinoa, I kind of challenge you to use like maybe another cereal you have on hand. Like oats probably would work just as well, and I feel like most of us have oats at home. So let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna need some puffed quinoa, which is, I don't know, I discovered this like a few years ago, but it basically looks like this. And it's just literally puffed quinoa. That's all you need to know. We need some agave nectar. If you don't have agave nectar, you can use maple syrup or you can use honey. We're gonna use some leftover Easter eggs. Peanut butter. Ooh, should we use peanut butter or almond butter? I feel like peanut butter just because we need so much of it and almond butter is so expensive.
Okay, cool.
Peanut butter. It is. I'm not really a huge fan of peanut butter. It tends to break me out. I don't think that it will now that I've finished Accutane, but we'll see now. Should we add some nuts in there to like make it more like crunchy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So let's put some nuts in there. Maybe some hemp seeds too. Okay, and some hemp seeds. So basically just stuff you have around your pantry. I am going to first take these eggs, unwrap them, chop them up a bit, and put them in here. I'm literally on the floor filming these unwrapping of eggs because there's no light currently in my kitchen. Like the light comes from over here. So literally you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I used Easter chocolate egg because that's what I had left, or chocolate Easter egg, sorry. But you can use whatever chocolate you have on hand, any like chocolate that's going off or like chocolate you want to get rid of. Chocolate chips work just fine. So next step. So we're using chocolate like I mentioned. I don't really have, what's it called, measurements for this. I'm just kind of like whacking stuff in a bowl and I encourage you to do the same. Just whack some stuff that you think will taste good together and mix it because it probably won't taste bad. I put half a pot of water on like kind of high heat and I'm gonna put this pot on top of it. I'm gonna dash in some almond milk. It's not even almond milk, it's oat milk, not too much. And then I'm gonna put the chocolate in. And basically this chocolate is going to melt and it's what we're gonna dip the cocoa balls thing in, whatever it is. Get yourself a bowl. I'm gonna use all of this because I wanna use all of it. Good, that's done.
What's that?
That is the puffed quinoa.
Oh.
And then I might use a bit of this and I might use some maple syrup as well. Shout out to Alex trying to be like super professional and like zoom in on things and film things. Like, I just like the taste of maple syrup. We're gonna add a little bit of maple syrup. This is totally dependent on how sweet you want things. We basically want you to combine the quinoa puffs so that it's kind of like that you can roll it, like a dough consistency. So I might even put this, you're gonna need a lot of, like half a cup to a cup of peanut butter. So let's do that. And then I'm gonna dash in some maple syrup because I like the taste of that. And then the rest I will do agave. I don't really use agave that much, so I kind of want to get rid of it because it's just sitting there. We're gonna add in some hemp hearts for some omegas and healthy fats. And I'm gonna add in some actual whole nuts that I crush eloquently with my hands. Because I can't be asked. Listen, we're all going a little bit mad staying in all the time. And so, you know, you just need something to do. We just need something to do. And if that's what this is, I'm not even crushing them correctly. Like, they're not even crushing in my hand. I thought I was a lot stronger than that, but okay. Okay, so now we're gonna combine it. So Al, if you, Mr. Cameraman, wanna just show the mixture. So mix it for, till it gets kind of like good enough to stick together. And again, as you saw, I'm just eyeballing it based off the consistency. So this is looking actually really good, Alex, because I think the determining factor is, does it stick together? But you see why I use the peanut butter instead, because almond butter is so expensive and there's no chance that I can afford a whole jar of almond butter for this recipe. Okay, just for good measure. Okay, maybe I should like not call this a snack. This should be a dessert. Because there's a lot of agave in that. We have the consistency we want. They're in like little balls. They're sticking without anything. I recommend you like having like wet hands to do this as well. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna line these all up on a paper sheet, because then we are going to dip them into the chocolate. Okay, so the chocolate is beginning to melt. And the reason that you put the pan underneath is basically you don't want the chocolate touching the actual stove because it'll burn. So the pan underneath has water, it like boils the water, which like steams up this, and then look at that. Oh yeah, we're good to go. We are in business. So I'm gonna roll out all of these, and then when they're done, we're gonna dip it into the chocolate. So now what we're going to do is we have the melted chocolate. Actually, honestly, the melted chocolate is optional. You don't really need chocolate on these, but like, why not? Make sure it's nice and tight, and then you're just gonna dip one side in the chocolate, and then you're gonna place it on the cooking sheet. Because that happens if, I want you to see this, because that will happen if they're not tight enough, so be warned. That one's gonna be a mess. Mess. So make sure they're tight, or else they will come apart. Okay, so they look like this. They don't look beautiful, but like, we're just not at that point. We are at home life point, and we are just making things to make them. Yeah, they're not gonna look pretty. I mean, if you took your time, I'm sure you can make them look pretty, but I just whip them up. And that's just reality. Things aren't made for Instagram, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna now put these into the fridge for like an hour or so until they get really hard. And then you're good to go. You have little desserts from scraps around your house. Oh, this is so good. Even if you don't make these, we're at home finding ourselves anyway. So maybe just throw stuff in a bowl. Let me know how your experiment goes and put your recipe down below. I will see you all in my next vlog. Make sure to like and subscribe because it really helps support my channel, and I will see you ladies and gentlemen later.